I thought I'd come down the garden and see if I can hear any bees, but on the basis that I can't see any bees, I doubt if we can hear any bees. I thought it was interesting just thinking briefly about what we can hear and what we don't hear. I think if I was walking with you through the woods, I may well hear some things that you don't hear. I might hear some little birds calling high up in the branches, but they're fairly irrelevant and fairly insignificant to you. But because I'm interested in that sort of thing, I suppose I'm tuned in a little bit to them. If I was walking down the shopping street with you, you might hear some music that someone's making in a car as they drive past. That would just not trigger any alerts with me at all. But if it was one of your favourite bands, you'd home in on it and perhaps watch the vehicle, and it would perhaps bring some memories to mind. It's strange what we hear and what we don't hear. I can remember going camping when I was a teenager, and we just set the tent up in the garden of my aunt's place in London. But I think we'd only got the ground sheet, so just lay down on the ground. But with your ear pressed against the ground sheet, there was an amazing noise that was coming from in the ground, and evidently I was laying directly over an ant's nest, and I didn't know they made any noise at all. But on that particular night they were quite noisy. But it just made me think about those verses that we read again and again and again. In those early chapters of Revelation, Jesus says, "He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches." A few weeks ago, before the lockdown, I was reading some verses from the book of Amos. And Amos writes, "When a trumpet sounds in a city, do not the people tremble? When disaster comes to a city, has not the Lord caused it? Surely the sovereign Lord does nothing without revealing his plans to his servants, the prophets. The lion has roared. Who will not fear? The sovereign Lord has spoken. Who can but prophesy?" Now I know that's Old Testament, and it was targeted to the people of Israel, so it's different nowadays. But we can't get away from what Jesus repeats when he speaks and addresses the churches in the book of Revelation. And I think we need to hear today what the Spirit is saying to the churches. Not my opinion, not anybody's opinion, not what I'd like to hear, not what I think he is saying, not what I want him to say, but what is the Spirit saying to the churches today?